can be answered. Let's clap hands for our pastor, who is the host for Shekinah Institute 2022.
Thank you. I hope you've been blessed so far. I'd like to welcome all of you once again and thank you for being here this morning. And I know that after today, your paradigm, your way of thinking will change. You will challenge your challenges. I say you will challenge your challenges and go out of here with determination to succeed and to be part of change makers. At every level, that's how it is. And so today we want to achieve that we produce those who will be market leaders, those who will rise from unemployed to becoming job providers. Can I hear somebody say, I agree? You want to be a job provider. And so that is what we want to achieve today. And our next speaker is going to give us insights, testimonies of being an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur or entrepreneurship has no gender. It might be a man, it might be a woman. Entrepreneurship is all been written about a man doing this and that, but also women too, we have them. So don't look at us here today and say, where are the women or the ladies? They are coming. And so today, it's a privilege to bring a son of the land, someone who has proven that it is possible to succeed. It is possible to find your own position among the multitude. It's a very close friend of mine. We met some 25 years ago, and we've been friends since then. And let me just tell you briefly about Mr. Malusi Makathini. He's had various experiences in management. He has occupied management positions across various industries in Africa and abroad. He began his corporate career with SAB Miller. He was a banker, executive with Nedbank, and also VW South Africa, Proud Food PLC. With all this platform and this achievement, he had the urge to be part of the movers and shakers. And he's here to share with us today. He left the corporate position to pursue his own business, his business idea, to unleash his potential beyond the corporate tables, beyond the boardrooms. He is the owner and CEO of KMC Value Creation, a mining optimization company with global affiliation owner. Is a director of World Group Investment Holdings, a diversified investment holding company. He is a director of PMS Solution, which is an engineering consulting firm. Also, while in his corporate position, he held a position in the board of directors in various companies and organizations such as Standard Bank of South Africa and also Johannesburg Property Company in Johannesburg, city of Johannesburg rather. And he is also an MBA holder. He schooled in Australia from Southern Cross University in Australia. And since then, he has never failed backward, but failing forward. Let's give Jesus a clap of faith. You know, and easier to share with us, never mind those profiles, those big names that we have heard. But he's going to share with us, he's a social entrepreneur, a businessman, and he's going to show us that you can be the next one tomorrow. He's going to show you that you can start putting your things together right now and, you know, adjusting your mindset to becoming a social entrepreneur, a business person. And so, with that much I say again or do, let us welcome Mr. Malusi Makathini, good friend of mine. We met some many years ago, around 1996. He's always been the same. He's always slim. You can see, well dressed. Let's welcome him once again.
Thank you.
By the way, it was my wedding in 1998. You forgot?
Yes.
We haven't said that.
Thank you. The only thing I remember that I was taller than you, so I couldn't be your best man. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is such a privilege and an honor to be here today. And I'm really grateful, and I value and cherish this invitation to be among the very well-esteemed pastors and obviously the great audience that is before me. I think, as I was saying to the previous speakers, they have set a very good tone, and it's quite great to be talking after people where you feel you are very congruent in your thinking, and there's such alignment. So then the speech just flows. Like the good apostle said, he's not going to refer to his speech because already the first speaker had spoken a lot about what he was going to speak about. I think I'm following on those footsteps. For me, just to paint a picture, I think specifically for our country, where we are right now, I would like to begin there to say there isn't much positive news that we get to read about on the newspapers. There isn't much motivating stories. Our CPI index, our interest rates are going up, fuel is going up, cost of living is just skyrocketing, our inflation, unemployment rate at its highest, over 30% is our unemployment rate at the moment, highest it has ever been. Corruption has become like a fabric of our society. Leadership, it's lacking. We are running out, or there is a depletion rather, of role models. And we are experiencing poor leadership day in and day out. So there is gloom, and it leads to also what I'm noticing, this dependency syndrome, which gets created by the, I don't want to say politicians, but by our government, whereby even when a woman falls pregnant, they know if I've got one child, I'm going to get 400 rand every month. If I get another one, it's another 400 rand or whatever it is. That's creating a dependency culture, which is quite worrying. During the pandemic, at its epic, people were giving 350 rands. Okay, well, it's a good cause, I think. But how do you then, in all of this, as a young, up-and-coming individual, motivate yourself? how do you then pick yourself up? How do you get motivated to kickstart your career and to kickstart your life? So it is with that whereby you have to say, the previous speaker spoke about career. How do you start your career? I'll come back to my career life right now, but I think, you know, how do I then start going into business? How do I then start identifying opportunities for myself? What sort of skill sets do I need to be able to thrive and to succeed and to climb the ladder of success? So it's difficult times, but it calls for an individual to think and be creative and reinvent yourself and start asking yourself a lot of questions, because you need to say, failure is not going to be part of me. I want to succeed at all costs. And then the marketplace as well. I mean, companies are closing down. There are no much careers that are out there. You know, there isn't much that, you know, the industry, you know, they do take apprenticeship and all that kind of stuff, but it's very limited. So how do you then differentiate yourself to be able to be employable? You know, these are some of the questions that you've got to ask yourself. How do you stay positive and have that drive to keep on propelling yourself to new heights? And how do you basically motivate yourself in this dire and gloomy economy of ours? So I thought I'd just begin by painting this gloom picture. But coming to the aspect of entrepreneurship, I think if you look at developed economies, entrepreneurship, it's what becomes the engine of the economy, because it starts with ideas. So you need to start with an idea, you know, with a seed that you plant in your head, in your heart, and you become passionate about it. You know, you need to dream. I think the previous speaker said that. How do you stay resolute and focus on your vision? You need to have that vision all the time, driving you, and stay resolute, and there'll be a lot of distraction. I mean, we both parented differently. We grow up from different homes. I had a privilege of growing up. My father was a pastor and my mother was professional. So I was in a good household, which gave me guidance. But at the end of the day, I had to make my own decision. To say, as much as my parents wanted me to be a professional, they always say, you either be a doctor, a lawyer, or a nurse, or a teacher. And I said to them, no, I can't be. I think I want to go into business. And they say, provided you get a degree. And I said, okay, then I need to get a business degree. But at that point, I didn't study economics or accounting or business economics. I was channeled through science route up until I finished my grade 12. It was matric at that time. And I had to go to university and start afresh and learn economics and accounting. But because I was driven and I wanted to know more about the world of business, as much as I didn't have the background of economics, I still was able to pass above average because I had a desire and a burning desire to succeed and to succeed in my chosen field. So career became at that point to say, I can't just go start a business. I've got to start somewhere and learn the ropes in the corporate world. And in that corporate world, I was thrown at the deep end. which sometimes you need it. You must be able to pedal hard, like a duck. You pedal underneath, but above the surface, you remain cool. So I had to do that. I had to learn. I had to ask questions. And I found as individuals, we fail to ask questions because we've got pride. Let me tell you, when you go and ask a question from somebody, they feel good because you look at them as a people who can give you the knowledge. So ask all the time. If you don't know, don't pretend you know. You will learn until the end of your lifetime. So I had to ask. I had this insatiable appetite for knowledge to learn and to learn new things every day. And at that time I was in the FMCG environment, which is fast moving consumer goods. And then I thought, this is very interesting, but I don't think I'm cut out for this. I need to jump into banking because I need to know more about finance. So I went into banking, and when I left, my boss said, you will never make it there. And then I said, okay, fair enough. You will get this all the time, by the way. People will always put you down. Oh no, you're not good for this, you're not good for that. Stay resolute. You must have a vision. You must have a dream, and you must follow your dream. And passion has to drive you in whatever that you are doing or the field that you have chosen for yourself. They talk about the what I call the art of success versus the science of success. The science of success is very good. It's theory. You learn about it from the books, from the textbooks. It gives you enough knowledge. But the art of success is the execution. It's how you go out there and implement. It's how you go out there and articulate and present yourself and have the confidence to say, I will do it. I think I'm the right person for this particular job. That is really on the career path that you have carved for yourself and the path that you have set for yourself to say, this is the road that I'm going to travel. And let me tell you, the road is very bumpy. There will be no smooth sailing. You have to brace yourself. If you have never failed, you haven't succeeded. So you have got to brace yourself for all the successes that comes with the road to success. And remember, as you reach that milestone, you haven't arrived. You must aim for the next one. So it never stops. It's really what we call continuous improvement of self. So you've got to continuously improve yourself. You've got to continuously outdo yourself. Like they always say, you must work yourself always out of the job so that somebody else comes into your job and then you move on to the next one. And this is how you progress in life. It's how you build and coach. They say, as you rise, you pull other people with you. You can't be rising alone. You can't let other people down there. Pull them with you along the way. So it brings me to this very much debated topic of entrepreneurship. Not social entrepreneurship yet. Entrepreneurs are driven by profit and driven by money. They come up with a product and a service, they offer it to the people. They've got to generate revenue. Okay? There's no conscience there. It's at whatever cost. I need to make profits. Okay? When it comes to social entrepreneurship, and I think when I vented out and I thought, yes, I've been in banking, I've I managed, I think over at some point I had about hundreds and hundreds of people that were reporting to me. Some who were bankers 10, 15 years before I was, much older than me. And they look at me and say, what are you going to tell us about this industry? Because we've been here for the longest time. I remember at VW South Africa, I came in, it's highly guarded environment. People, they know the industry very well. There's a lot of collusion. And, you just, again, thrown at a deep end and you didn't realize that there is such corruption here. And corruption is not really like bribery. Corruption is like people are not just ethical. They are not following best business practices. And you say, am I going to be part of this? And then you say, how do I make a difference and stick to my ethics in the way that I want to conduct and do business? So as you venture into certain areas and certain spheres of government or of business, you keep on learning and your eyes keep on getting wider and opening to say, wow, I didn't really realize that this exists, but it's part of learning and it's part of growth. And it tests your values and it tests your core and your leadership style as well, and you realize that there is so much that you don't know out there. And you get told you don't belong here. You're not part of us. You're not part of the team. Or, and you don't try hard to belong. You need to know who you are. That's very, very important. You do it because you want to do it. You don't do it because you are forced to do it. Okay? I think for me, what was very rewarding and very fruitful was the realization of making a difference to where I'm operating as a business person, and to see growth and to see people developing. And this is where social entrepreneurship comes about, whereby as much as you are an entrepreneur, but you become an entrepreneur with a conscience. You are providing, there are so many social injustices, let me start there, in this country. Or in the world, there's poverty, there's crime, there's homelessness, among other things. And you say, you pick up one and say, in the community or in the area of my expertise or in the business that I've chosen, how do I impact this? Either is an equality or is an injustice, so that you can see people flourish and grow. Yeah. So I'll take one example. I spoke about the 350 grant that was given now recently during the height of the pandemic. And in my property business, and I had to look at my value chain and say, yes, I've got this property business. I rent out places to people. There's rent to be collected. There's maintenance to be done. And I said, there are gaps and there are opportunities here where I can get people to provide services, be it maintenance, be it painting. And one guy who was painting said, oh, I just got my 350. And I said, okay, since we are a painter, have you considered to make this really a trade for you? And focus, because you're such a good painter. This 350 can buy you some tools. Instead of me buying tools, you can have your own tools. Use it as a capital. It's not too much, but you're going to get it for 3-4 months. So it amounts to about 1,000 something. So he started building that business for himself. And then today he's thriving. He's, by referral, when he finishes the job here, he goes to the next job. How often do we look upon people who are doing this trades job? The plumbing job, the painting job, the electrical job. Those people are very, 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 very key. And they make a good living, that I can tell you. So in the social entrepreneurial space, it's how you uplift people and say, I'm not going to own this end-to-end value chain. I'm going to make sure that, yes, I'm on top of the game, but I'm going to create people who could be drivers, people who could be plumbers, people who are going to set up their own small property company whereby they can say, we are good at collections, we are good at painting, we are good electricians, we are good painters, and so on and so on. Still on social entrepreneurship, in the mining business that I'm in, we had mines own land, vast amount of land. As we engage with them on mining optimization, and we say, you have an asset, then this asset is land. You are mining underground. This land on top, nothing happens on it. What are you doing about it? Oh, no. We can't have anything on top of the land. You plant the seed and say, you are mining the resources here. Some of them exported, some is being used in this country. Why don't we use this land for agriculture? We've got lovely success stories where we have budding entrepreneurs in Mpumalanga, in Limpopo, in Northern Cape, who are thriving out of that land, and they are plowing on top of it. They are selling to the local community, to the communities. Some they are even selling to the local markets and supplying local dealers, etc., etc. But the mines, they never thought about it that way. They will mine and leave it, and they will mine for 20 years and leave that particular area, close the mine down. People lose jobs and they've got nothing to fall back on. So that is again the beauty of being in business with a social conscience. Most of the questions I get that get posed to me is, I always get rejection. And let me tell you, rejection is part of the game. You will be rejected not once, not twice. It comes with the territory. No does not mean there's nothing. It's got nothing to do with you. If someone says no to you, it's for that moment. You go, you come back again, you ask. Because you can ask somebody something and he says no, because his mind is somewhere else. He's not there with you at that point in time. And you'll be surprised when you go back and knock at that door again. And he says, oh, what are you talking about? I think I can help you, or I can refer you to somebody else. So don't take no as an answer and personalize it and internalize it. It's got nothing to do with you. Okay. Even if you don't go back to the same person, but you also continue asking and say, can you help me here, or can I ask this? Don't take no as an answer. You have to identify those people who are role models. I know there are few. Get the coaching. And when I say internalize, it's very important because we live in a society now where people are suffering with mental health. How do you clear your head? You can't move forward. You can't fall forward you will fall backwards if your headspace is not clear. So you must always clear your headspace. You come to these establishments like this, that's where you clear your head. You pray. You cry. It's allowed, by the way. Cry in private is allowed. If you don't cry, then there's something wrong with you. We were brought up that men don't cry. You know? So what happened to that anger issues that you have and you are not crying about them? What happens? You are building up something internally and the bad vibrations come out of that. So feel self-pity at that point in time, but don't carry it with you. Cry, cry, cry and say, then I'm fine. Now I'm ready to face the world. You know? Be active. Have some activities that serve wherever you want to serve. You know, serve in church, serve in your community. Do something that gives you that gratification. And it doesn't have to do that. You have to take money out of your own pocket and do something. You know, and there's something very, very critical. Is investing in yourself.
That's right.
And investing in yourself, it's time. Use your time wisely. You are here today because you are investing in yourself. You are using your time wisely. Choose who you spend your time with. It's very, very important because you will never recover the time that you have lost. That moment comes and it shall not be recovered. You know, you engage in activities that clears your mind. That clears your mind. That feeds your soul. Other people meditate, sorry. You know, in different form and in whatever way. It's very, very, very important. I spoke about mental health. It's a big buzz thing these days. We hear, where have you had a child as young as 4 years committing suicide, 6 years? It starts early. And they come into teenagehood, it becomes worse. When you read those notes, suicide notes, as it were, and you feel, oh my God, I could have made a difference here. Because people are not vocalizing, people are internalizing. So we need to move away, or you need to move away from internalizing things. Learn to sift. And they always say, this saying, I always like it. You know, they say a dog barks at a tire of a car that is moving. Keeps on barking and following that car. If it's stationary, it just goes and, excuse the word, piss on it. So you need to be moving all the time. Let them bark. Let them make noise. But you are moving forward, because as you move forward, there'll be a lot of noise. But stay resolute. Stay focused into your dream and into your vision. So I think for me today, the message that I would like to carry across is everybody matters. Everybody has got a place on this earth, otherwise you would not be here. You are here for a purpose. You are here for a purpose. Fulfill that purpose, fulfill that vision, and make a difference where you are and where you are planted. You have to grow. Grow, shine where you are. You know, I think I grew up in a township. I went to school barefoot. And when I go back to the schools I went to, you know, I tell the peoples to say, you are lucky, you are being fed. We were never fed when we used to come to school. Now they get lunches at school. People are eating. We were hungry, you know, but we still learned, you know. So we need to be great. There are a lot of things you need to be grateful for. We are breathing. There are people who are under ventilators, and we are here and we're able to bring ourselves here and to learn and to share ideas. So I would like to say thank you very much, and then I'm looking forward to your questions later. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Malusi. Thank you. That's yours. Yeah. Thank you so much. Isn't that wonderful? Thank you. Just give Jesus a clap of his once more. Wow, that was loaded and compacted. I wish we have more times, but I know we will see him in the future. And again, he still has half an hour.